Hello everybody, I'm Sophie D'Souza and welcome to my channel Sophie's Stained Glass. In today's video you're going to see how Chloe, my student for the last 2 days, although when I say 2 days, 2 half days, how Chloe has made this fantastic piece. And the reason we split the studying over 2 days was because she did some painted work and that takes about 4 hours in my kiln. So she came one day, cut, painted, next day she leaded. So keep watching for how to make a beautiful piece of stained glass. The first thing we're going to do today is learn to cut. Now I always cut with a pen cutter, but Chloe has got one of these little jobbies. I don't know whether, I guess I should try demonstrating with these, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's just see.
I think there's a bit of oil in there.
Yeah, I can see it. But we can put a bit more oil in. And then you can just break it. Wrong way up. We may need to adjust the width of the jaws. Just break it like that. So listen for the pressure. So I'll do a really light one, and now I'll do a really heavy one. That's too heavy, that's probably too light, so something in between. So do you want to have a little go and just start to get the feel for it? So it swivels the head of the cutter. That's really good. That is a beautiful cut. Is that the first time you've cut?
I had a go at cutting some bowls, but that was really difficult.
With this? Yeah, that's not going to work.
No.
But that was very good. So you can either snap, like I'll do it on this one, like, oh my god, it's hard on 4mm. Actually, because it's so hard, I would suggest you use these. Now, can you see, if I take these off, the curve,
yeah,
this concave, I think it is, goes at the top. I'm going to let you put that on. Yay! Right, you're too good, so we're going to make it harder. That is quite impressive, being too good after one cut. You've got a nice straight action. So I'm going to ask you to follow this line, and I want you to follow it on this side. Do you understand what I mean?
so get this side of the pen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's have a look at that. Okay, Chloe is officially too good.
It's a bit off here though.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So if you're not as good as Chloe at home, don't worry. She has some sort of special power. Okay, so again, you can break that with your cutters. Not cutters, breaking pliers.
Gross.
Well, grozers are actually like this. So that is not too shabby at all. And I think what you need to do is keep doing that a few times until you're happier with the the accuracy.
Why did it swivel?
It swivels because when you're doing this, you need it to have, if you're doing a lot of movement, I don't know, you just want it to have a bit more sort of give.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though, if you're starting off
But it's got to be like that side down, right?
That's right, yeah. I'll just show you this because I've done a really curvy cut. The way you open up a cut like this, can you see there? The light's coming through it a bit different there. You see that? You go along tapping. Can you hear how it changed? Look, it's going to snap off in the wrong place there. The other thing you can do actually is start it off with these pliers. Did you hear that tick? And if I'd started this side off, that wouldn't have snapped in the wrong place. It's hanging on somewhere. This is really hideous glass to break. It's much harder than the glass you'll be working with today. So
would I tap with this bit? Or
yeah, you tap with that bit. It's pretty good.
Should I tap it then?
You could try the tapping method, yeah, because it needs a bit more skill than the
From the
breaking
bottom?
pliers. Yeah, you try. What you're trying to do is tap directly under your score line. That's it. Can you see it's opened? Yeah. Yeah, that's got it. I'd say perfect. Perfect. This is 4mm float glass because I went to get some 3mm for you, which feels much more like the glass you'll be cutting, but my glazers is closed for their moving premises. Only 2 doors down.
Reading?
No, not Reading actually. So Reading stained glass is where I get my art glass, but I get all my like cheapy offcuts from the local glazers.
And you just give that for free?
Yeah, because pieces like that, they can't use them in a window and they have to pay to have their scrap taken away.
Right.
So they're happy to give me their stuff.
Because I was thinking to ask the glazers near me.
Yeah, do. Yeah. Usually they're quite happy.
Cool.
So do you want to keep going?
Yeah, sure. Do you think this is better than the last one?
Yeah, I do actually.
Apart from that bit?
I wouldn't worry about that. That's part of the nature of 4mm glass.
Okay.
It won't do that.
Would that matter then if you...
Well, I'll show you what the lead's like and you'll see. This is 6mm, which is routinely what you might use. Which was the bit we were trying to cover? This bit. Now, you would probably want to break this off, and this is where you'd use your glazers, because you won't get the lead to cover that. See what I mean? It's stopping it. So you would turn it so that the bit that's protruding is on the top. Then you put the glazers flat side up, and you do this kind of thing. You're not using a lot of force, you're just sort of grating it really. So if there's another place like that, you could try that. Maybe try that bit there. So see how you feel with that action.
Does it matter what way?
Yeah, flat side top most. No, just like that. That's it. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more force than that. Yeah, you're sort of nibbling. Yeah. You're using the kind of the grated surface of the glazers to sort of just grind away.
Oh, okay. So would that be alright?
Yeah, that would be fine. That'd be absolutely fine. So, I mean, you do get that happening, and also sometimes you get like maybe you cut it and let me do this on camera. Sometimes you cut it, and I'm going to stop early, and hopefully that will make a horrible cut. Now, let's say I wanted to take that bit off. I can actually just nibble it off like that. So these are great for just taking off little bits that are maybe... These are the grozers. Yeah, they're great for little hanging on bits.
Cool.
So do you want to keep going with your cutting? Do a bit more complicated for yourself as well. Ooh. So have you done sort of other crafts before?
Yeah, but not really. Right. Actually, you know, I started to. It's not really that similar, but I started doing a piece because basically I wanted to do a piece with this massive sheet of glass that I dragged home, and I didn't realise it was tempered glass, so
oops.
So I got some of that like adhesive lead tape, and I just started making a fake piece with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
But you haven't like done other sorts of crafts because you're so good with your hands. I'm thinking maybe you.
Not really, no.
Really?
Yeah.
All this latent potential. Unlocking it. Sometimes what I do, if I've got a really complicated shape to follow, is I put my finger next to the cutter head and I sort of guide it along. It's best if you're really above the piece because then you can get the angle right, and also the force comes through your shoulder and then you don't tie your hand out too much. So that felt really uncomfortable to me. I could feel my little finger going, it's hurting, it's hurting.
Okay. I forgot where I was.
You should be able to see if you hold it. Yeah, it looks like you did.
That didn't sound nice.
It sounded fine. It sounded fine. You can slow it down a bit if you want to. Right. Let's see, can I just try that? Because it looks a bit awkward.
It does.
That's how you want to hold it. You want to hold it like this. I don't know where the camera is. And hold this tight and this loose. Is this nice and tight so it doesn't wobble as you're hitting it? That's so weird the way it's flopping about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It might be that because the glass is 4mm glass, this is going to be too difficult to break. So maybe move on to these two,
okay.
and do the tapping technique. Yay. Now, before it drops off and breaks, when you can hear by the sound of the tap that the line has opened up, you can then just snap it with your fingers.
Right.
And maybe with the next one, start the beginning and end of the score line off with the breaking plies.
Okay.
So what you're trying to get is that little tick sound. So if you listen very carefully. Oh my God. Got it the wrong way up. Oh well. That wasn't what we were going for. We were going for just a tiny tick. That.
Okay. On either end.
On either end, and then try tapping in between. Do you know what? I think we need to put a little. It's really hard to see because of the rubber things. It's weird, but that line is kind of in the wrong place. You want it right there. So now we know what we're doing with these. There you go. That's it, perfect. Okay, well that's all right. You get a better, cleaner cut if you don't use the tapping method.
Right.
But the tapping method is just something you have to be able to do for those really tricky curves.
Yeah. So when you're cutting glass that's like curvy, are you often using all of these, or have you managed to?
Do you know what? I actually only started using running pliers relatively recently because I was getting everything done the way I needed to by just using grozers. But I've really been converted to these for long straight cuts. They break less. And like for the window I just made with all these straight lines, I start by just cutting lots of strips, and these are great for that. And actually I didn't realise even how good they were for curves until recently.
Yeah. Shall I use this now then?
Yeah. Hang on a sec, let's just make sure you've lined it up right. So where's your crease, or your score line rather? Have you got a score line there?
I actually think it's not on the pen at all, but it's like the...
Okay, well that's as far as you want to put your, unless what you want to do is try and correct that. So if you put a fresh score line in here, and then use your grozers to nibble up to it. Perfect. And it's a way and down, so sort of a pulley like that. No, not up, down. That's it. Now if the bit sticking out is on the underneath, that's when you flip it over and do that sort of grinding downwards sort of. So let's have a look. Yeah, that looks fine to me. It's pretty good going, you know.
Cool.
You're going to really annoy the people at home. So I think actually you've got enough skills to start thinking about selecting glass for your patterns. So let's have a little chat about your pattern work. So Chloe sent me some of her designs, which I love. They're really unique and really interesting. And I suggested that one of these, some of her stuff is so complicated, and it's beautiful and fascinating. But what I thought would work well is one of these flowers blown up a bit bigger, and with the shaded work we could do some painting. So which of these do you think you would like to work on?
I really don't know. I would like to ask what your favourite one is.
Well, when I'm thinking, I'm probably not quite thinking favourite, I'm thinking which can we make?
Yeah, true.
So if we put this into a, the idea is to put these into a frame and make them on a square piece. What we have to think about is, can we achieve all these cuts? And it's this piece here which is going to present the problem, because you can't cut a piece of glass with these pointy bits taken out. So this piece, well, that won't be possible. So that one we can't do. So we have to look carefully at this one. Again, these pieces here, we could add those with paintwork.
Yeah.
So that would work there. This we could add with paintwork. Yeah, all this bit would have to be added with paintwork. Let's have a look at this one. So we have to imagine a square around it. That would have to end up curved, because you can't do an internal right angle. So this piece of glass, which is squaring it off, which isn't drawn in but would be here, you couldn't cut that. You could cut the others. I'd say that's paintwork. So if you were to adapt this, it would be possible.
This is meant to be a curve anyway.
Oh, it's meant to be a curve, right, but it's got to be more of a curve.
Yeah.
Unless you put maybe a mitre line in here. See what I mean? If this piece here, which isn't drawn in, if you adapted that so that you could cut that, that would work well. I do like your shading, actually, and that's what's going to be so effective when you do the paintwork. I think this might, I'd say I prefer that to that. Similar issues here, but I prefer this one. I really like this one. And actually, if we squared it off here, there's nothing here we can't cut. That is going to present a problem.
Which bit?
So this would have to be a curve, which is a shame to lose the angle.
That little bit
This here, you can cut this, but you can't cut the internal one. And then when you get to this piece, you've got the opposite problem. You can't cut this one, but you can cut that.
Maybe it's possible we could create the effect with paint, or
yes, you could, or you could take a line across. So this one again, if it was just like that, that would work. Painted work, painted work. This bit is the problem. Corners, internal corners, are a bit of a no-no for stained glass. So at the moment, this is, I think, the best one. Yeah, I don't think we could make that one. This is lovely. There's an awful lot sticking into this corner piece here, so I don't think that one would work. Oh, I've done that one, haven't I? I've just looked at that one. I think this would work with a combination of paint work and maybe a couple of extra lead lines. I think that one would work. That's really nice too. So at the moment we've got this one and this one. That's just frying my brain. That's just too much to too much to look at that one. Right. this one. I feel so sorry for this bit.
Yeah, no.
So sad. God, it's a real insight into your brain, isn't it, this?
Actually, this one I was looking at a bunch of cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. It's amazing where you get inspiration. Bit too complicated around this area, I'd say. So where were we up to? I don't want to forget. So did we say this one and this one?
Do you like this? Obviously, it's still pencil.
Yeah, I like
It's
that.
pretty simple, I think.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Yeah. I don't want to make you go too simple because you're clearly drawn to complex patterns, and I want you to be really satisfied with what you've done. This would work if we had something here to make this piece cuttable.
This one.
Yeah, this one would work. That's too complicated. So we've got 3 to choose from. So that one, or that one. That one, or that one. And the choice is yours.
This one.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the question is, do you want to upsize it on my computer or do you want to draw it?
I don't mind.
Okay, I think let's draw it
Yeah.
because then you can adapt it. You probably haven't got any A4 paper with you?
I've got, I think I've got the gridded A4.
Oh, okay, perfect.